Hello everyone and welcome back. So first off, I'd just like to thank all of you for 50 subscribers, although that's not that much for many people. For me, that's half a hundred and it means a lot to me. So anyhow, for this video, I came up with a new concept. The concept was simple. I just wanted to make a team from zero and see how far I could go in a week. But there's a few things you should know as well. So the team does have double XP because on the same characters I had the Quaqua team that I leveled. Also, you guys may know I have a rogue level 200. I'm not extremely rich, but I do have money. But the rules of the challenge for myself were simple. I'm not allowed to take help from my rogue, money or XP wise, except for subscriptions. So I gave myself money just to subscribe. Other than that, I was not allowed to help myself with my rogue, although I did end up crafting and maging for myself for free, which might be considered cheating, but typically you can, if you look hard enough, you can find people to do that, so I don't consider it that big of a cheat. So I just want to show you guys today the process that I went through, and maybe it can inspire some of you to do the same. And you don't have to stop at 1 week. You can go further than that. So it started here with me and Inkernam, like all other players who start the game. I first off started by trying to get my adventurer sets. I went and hunted the appropriate monsters, dropped the sets, then I went and did the dungeon. Then I went and did the dungeon, got the achievements. You might notice that I don't have the resource achievements here, because I don't get the resource from the achievements. That's because I've already done these achievements on the Quaqua that I previously mentioned. So I geared them, then I went to Astrub with my adventurer sets, went and fought Peewees, which now have a very high drop rate for gear. So I was quickly able to drop, and because of the high drop rate, the price is very cheap in the market. So just with a few commas from these achievements right here as well, I was able to complete my sets. And then I went and bought the Gobble shields, which give 10 power, which is 10 in every stat, so that helps me hit a bit harder. After that, I went to do the Gobble dungeon. At this point, you may notice I'm still not subscribed because with the new update, Gobble and Sand Dungeon are free-to-play areas and free-to-play dungeons. So I went and did the Gobble dungeon. Then I went and did the Sand dungeon. I didn't screen the achievements, but interestingly enough, even with Peewee sets, I was able to do Blitzkrieg on the Royal Gobble. I did that, it all comes down to the IOPS Divine Sword boosts. That really helps at low level. Then I went and did the Sand dungeon, did achievements again. You see here I have nice resources. I put them in market. This is a few hours later that I had some money, and I kept putting things in market. This is me after having put some of the resources in market. I had some left over. I was able to craft a Royal Gobble set, which is now changed and less powerful, but also at a lesser level. It's around level 30, I believe. And 2 sponge sets. So what you should know is that my Enuripsa is Intel, my IOP is Strength, Enutrof is Chance, and my Panda is Agility. So the sponge set is Chance Agility, so it's not optimized for either character, but it's what I had on hand, so I was able to work with it. Then I've subscribed and went to Bonta and decided to make a little money. At that time, some of my resources had already sold, so I had some money to work with, around 300 KK. So I crafted these Wawabit staffs, and I crushed them with a lock focus and ended up getting 500 KK. Although the estimated value of destroyed items is 300 KK, craft price was only around 100, so this really helped, gave me like 400 KK boost. I did it again because I noticed that the coefficient wasn't going down that much, and I figured if I'm still getting 57 lock runes at the 176%, I could still make a decent profit. So here's me doing it again. Then I went and did the Boostash dungeon. Here I was aiming for the straight commas from the achievements because I remember I was unable to put items in market because of how low my commas were. I dropped an evil tofu feather, which my friend told me was impossible to do after he tried doing it for like an hour. I don't know why, but yeah. Then here's me doing the achievements. The problem with a team of 4 as opposed to a team of 2 is you don't get the duo achievement, which means you also don't get the doing all the achievements. So that's 2 achievements I'm missing out on, but you know, team is better than 2 players anyhow. So this is me the next day, I believe, after some of my runes had sold. And I also went and did the Quaqua dungeon, as you can see by the Quaqua feathers here, because I knew that my next step was going to be gearing my characters with Quaqua. So I like to have my characters all geared with similar gear. So here's the Ice Quaqua, Wind Quaqua, Fire, and Earth Quaqua. I also changed up the shields over here to give these 2 characters more vitality. Not sure why I did that, but I felt it was right at the time. This is another screen of my characters. Then, with my Quaqua sets, I went to Otomai. Before going to Otomai, I had to drop the cannonballs, which are done on the Lousy Pig Knights, I believe, in the in one of the Kanya areas around the Almanacs. So I dropped those, then I did the Otomai access quests, and went straight to this tree, because I know of a technique which involves using the snail mitt to XP really heavily. As you can see, 2 million XP at this level is a decent amount. I believe it's like five levels worth or something around that number. This is me doing it again. And I also got some drops here. Each one of these is worth 23 or so KK, so I got like 100 KK worth of drops just from this one fight, and a decent XP as well. This is me doing it again, and again, and again. Then I reached a decent enough level that I thought I deserved a set upgrade, so I went and focus crushed my Quaqua sets with the appropriate resistance, and this is where I made a lot of money because there were insane coefficients on most items. So my Quaqua set cost me, from memory, probably around 400 KK to craft because the Quaqua feathers from the boss cost me a lot in the market. I couldn't drop all of them because I couldn't do all the achievements. They were quite difficult with my current gear setup. So then I went and I crushed my Quaqua gear. Here we go. Nice 400 KK. And boom, 1 million. So I made a lot of money off of this. So I sold those. Then I tried to make more money. This worked out pretty nicely as well. Crushing is one of my favorite ways to make money. I feel like I have a knack for it. I can decide which items are worth most of the time. I recrushed my Wind Quaqua set because I saw that it was worth a lot. I could actually redo that, I think. I haven't done it, so whoever watches this first, I suppose you could go make a small profit. This is proof of sales. I don't remember what time this was. Okay, so this is 6:48. So this is around like 40 minutes later. I sold a lot of runes. So I used that money to go and make more crushes. You see here how much money it cost me to buy this at 280 KK, and you can see here the estimated value of runes obtained is 1.8 mil. So that was good. And then I redid another crush. This item cost me 400 KK in the market, and I made 4.5 mil off it. So I'd say that's quite worth it actually. I redid it, of course, because it's worth a lot. You can also see some of my Otomai resources selling in the background. Here's a proof of sale. Woke up the next morning, I had 3 million sold. Here's a close-up of my proof of sale. This is me leveling to level 100 on the same Otomai mobs on my 4 characters. Although, not sure why my IOP has possibly more wisdom, might be the set. Then I decided to make myself a guild, which I will show later. I'll show you how I decided my guild emblem should look like. This is not the final product. Then, with the money that I had made, I decided to go and gear myself with better gear, with the I could call them the Dala sets, the Pandala sets. Yeah, that would make more sense. So I geared myself with the appropriate Pandala sets: Feu Dala, Air Dala, Aqua Dala, and Terra Dala. The Aqua Dala is the weakest of the bunch. Then goes the Air Dala, Terra Dala, and then Feu Dala. The Sidimote shield was for Vitality because this area requires you to survive being hit at least 2 turns. 1 or 2 turns, depending how lucky and good you are. The Bozai pet was for MP, which helps me with the mobility. This is another screenshot of my character. This is me keep XPing. And here's a big XP loot. I upgraded my idols to change it up because my previous idol setup had... Oh, it's not there. But my previous idol setup had the mobs hitting very hard, and they were killing me in 2 turns, which I couldn't deal with. So I changed it up to give them... Not too sure what these idols give, but just MP, and as long as I'm careful, I was able to win a lot more fights, and more difficult fights as well. Here's me XPing some more. Then, with more money that I had, I went and upgraded my gear once more. I changed up all the shields. All these shields give 8% spell damage, I believe, which helped me hit a bit harder. I upgraded the Pandawa set to a very good agility set, which is the White Rat set. And the Enutrof I upgraded to the Ancestral set, which is also very good for chance. He became one of my strongest hitters, actually, and Coin Throw has a long range, so that was helpful. So this is me in the Black Rat dungeon. I went and did the Black Rat and the White Rat dungeons for the challenge and for the achievement. I did not screen the victories, unfortunately, but just know that I did do them. Then I went and did Lord Crow, which was bothersome because while searching for the Lord Crow, if any of you are familiar with the setup of the library, while searching for him, I honed in on where he should be, but then I go there and I speak to the PNG, and it says that he had changed location, so I had to basically do it again. Also, PNG, I meant NPC. PNG, I believe, is the French abbreviation. So then I did some more crushes, just trying to make more money to be able to upgrade my team more later on if I need to. This cost me around 1 million. You can see me here in the chat boasting about my 700kk gain to my friend. This cost me a 3.1 million Kamas craft, so it wasn't too worth it, but I did gain from it, so I'm not complaining. And that's the end. At this point, my week was over. Although I did have 1 extra day because of the subscription package gave me a 7+1 day. I decided not to take advantage of that 1 day and just keep it restricted to the 1 week. You guys can probably do more if you play for longer hours than I did. Although I do play quite regularly, I'm sure some of you have more time on your hands. So I'll catch up with you in a moment, and we'll be looking at my team in the present day. Alright, so we're joined here with my team to see where I ended up at the end of the week. Looking here, we notice that I'm at level 119 or 120 across the board. Varying wisdom in the sets allows for different levels at the end. Quick look at the setups. It's the last set that you saw me upgrade to. So Fodala here. Most items are overmaged on Vitality. I have a Gelano, which is overmage Vitality as well. My shields are overmage Vitality and ignored of other stats. I have Acrobats here, even though I'm Intel, because of the conditions for the Fodala Saber. I need 61 agility minimum. We see I also have Sea Mules, which I bought at level 100. If I had bought them at level 1, which were at 5kk, as opposed to the level 100 ones, which are 250kk, I could have leveled them and made a profit, but I thought in the interest of time I'd just buy them since I have the means for it. Here's my IOP set. You see I have 1 million Kamas. I have a lot of runes for sale, but I keep getting undercuts anyways. But I know that they'll sell at the end. So, same setup, overmage, vitality, everything. My Gelano, 165. I put Voyagers for 6 MP. I didn't need one on my Eniripsa because the set bonus for Frodala is MP as opposed to the set bonus for Terradella, which is AP. So I needed MP on this character. On my Enutroth, I have the Ancestral set and some MP reduction trophies. Same setup. I tried to overmage fit most items, although it was quite difficult here, while maintaining appropriate stats. Because the runes I have to buy them myself or crush for them, so I can't try hard too much with the stats. This mage went pretty well. And here's my Gelano, 135. That's the worst of the bunch, I believe. And finally, my Pandawa set, which is the white rats. It's a good agility set, which gives nice vitality, some linear resistance. Actually, I can show you the linear resistance. It's not too important, but I do like linear resistance for whatever reason. I have 12, 6, 6, and 12, which an ivory is 4 times all of that by itself, but I'm low level Kami Slack. So here's my set. Also over mage vitality. I believe this character has the best Gelano. So what you should know with the Otomai mobs that I was fighting with the snail mitts is the Pandawa is probably the most important of your characters because he has the most precise placement movements with his carry throw spell, Karchim. So he had to be protected at all costs. Here's my guild. I didn't level it. I just put it there because I like the emblem. Actually, I like the color. The term Ebony Falcons doesn't really mean that much. I believe I got it from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the show, if anyone's familiar with it. So here's my team. Here's how I ended up at the end of the week, and if I can do it, you guys can do it too. See you next time. Good luck.